They told us education was the key to success, that if we just studied hard, got good grades, and graduated, everything else would fall into place. But here's the truth no one wants to talk about. If education really guaranteed success, why are so many of the world's richest, smartest, most creative people dropouts? Because maybe, just maybe, school isn't built to make you successful. It's built to make you obedient. Let's find out why education might just be the biggest lie we've ever been told. We grow up hearing the same story. Go to school, get good grades, go to college, get a job. Then you'll be happy, safe, successful. But that story hasn't been updated in over a century. Our modern education system, the very thing we trust with our future, was designed during the Industrial Revolution. Back then, the goal wasn't creativity or freedom. It was compliance. Factories needed workers who followed instructions, not thinkers who questioned orders. And even though we live in a world of AI, automation, and infinite knowledge online, we're still using a system made for producing factory workers. So, what happens? You graduate into a world that no longer needs what school prepared you for. Here's what most people don't know. The modern education system didn't just appear, it was engineered. In the 1800s, the Prussian government built schools to train citizens to obey, to follow orders, to raise their hands before speaking, to memorize, not to think. When that model spread across the world, it looked like progress, but it was actually control. We've mistaken discipline for intelligence. We've mistaken memorization for mastery. And worst of all, we've mistaken obedience for success. The result? Generations of people afraid to fail, afraid to speak up, afraid to question. Because the system taught us to follow directions, not to create our own. But step outside the classroom, and the rules disappear. No one cares about your GPA. No one asks what you got on that final exam. The real world doesn't reward memorization. It rewards execution. Think about it. Steve Jobs dropped out. So did Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, and even a few other successful people. They didn't wait for permission to learn. They followed curiosity. In school, failure gets you punished. In life, failure is how you learn. The people who thrive today aren't necessarily the smartest. They're the most adaptable. They know how to learn fast, think different, and build something out of nothing. And that's something no traditional classroom can teach you. So let's get one thing straight. Education isn't useless. It's just outdated. Because education doesn't end in school. It starts the moment you decide to learn something on your own. Real education happens when you're curious, when you experiment, when you fail, when you adapt. You can learn how to code on YouTube. You can master storytelling through games. You can study psychology by observing people around you. This, right here, is the new classroom. The internet, the world. Everything around you is a lesson waiting to be learned. That's why this channel exists, AA Education. Because education isn't limited to textbooks. It's all around us. Maybe education isn't about where you learn. It's about what you choose to learn. You don't need a degree to start something meaningful. You don't need permission to create. You just need the courage to think differently. Because while most people are waiting for the system to give them success, the real ones are building it themselves. So ask yourself this: are you being educated or are you being programmed? Be curious, not conditioned. If you found this video thought-provoking, subscribe for more deep dives into the truth behind everyday education, from classrooms to games to life itself. Because curiosity shouldn't end when school does. This is AA Education, where learning never stops.